Bitcoin astrology forecast for February 2024. Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to another day in Bitcoin and the crypto paradise. All right, so wherever you're tuning in from the world, welcome. First off, this is not financial advice. None of this content is financial or investment advice. This content is intended for entertainment purposes. We're talking about Bitcoin and astrology today. Bitcoin could be distributing a bit. I'm going to be talking more about that. But we talk about Bitcoin astrology on this channel. Some people think that's crazy. They think it's just crazy. So I do not ignore technical analysis. I extremely value technical analysis, but since there's so many technical analysis channels out there, I didn't want to add to the noise. I wanted to hit the markets and hit crypto from a new angle where we can see new correlations and new patterns. All right, so I take the TA, we're looking at the TA, and I look at the macro too. We're looking at all the things in the markets, but then we're also adding on astrology so we can benefit from that as well and see if the correlations with the astrology align with the technical analysis. And oftentimes it does, not every time, but oftentimes it does. All right, so Bitcoin could be distributing. I know not everybody wants to hear that, but just a moment here. Let me pull up an image real quick. All right, here's the Wyckoff distribution. Oh, shoot. Here's the Wyckoff distribution. For some reason, it didn't go onto the chart. But you see phase A, we're going up. This kind of looks like what we've been experiencing with Bitcoin. We headed up to like 46K. Then we settled down to 42K. And then we just shot up to, we could have just seen phase C potentially. We just shot up to 49K, like right around there. So either we could see another shot up to high 40s again before we head back down, or we have potentially already headed back down. This is in the event that, that we are seeing distribution. Now, we have seen a lot of sell volume here. I mean, this is more sell volume than we've seen since October 2022. All right, so things aren't looking super good for Bitcoin. And so I have sold most of my Bitcoin in all transparency. And if we look at what the altcoins are doing, let's see. We'll go to total 3. Altcoins are still holding up pretty strong. I mean, we could even make a trend line. Let's see. Okay, I guess they're breaking from the trend line a little bit, but they're still holding up there. Pretty good. Okay. If we go to the daily, short term, we're on a downtrend here. But in the long run, we could still head up higher. We'll see what happens. All right, so let's take a look at the Bitcoin astrology, guys. That's what we're here for today. So January, we saw, bullish action. We saw this Pluto conjunct Bitcoin Jupiter, which historically has been bullish. We shot up to 49K after this. And we also have this Uranus sextile, the Bitcoin Uranus, which is very bullish. So we could, if all goes well, we could head up a little bit. We could continue to head to the high 40s. In the most bullish case, we head into the 50s. Maybe in February, because we're still getting this bullish aspect direct hit on February 18th. So that's good. And we also get this Saturn sextile to Bitcoin Mars, very bullish. And this is happening January 24th, right before the full moon. All right, so that's very bullish. So we could get a pump, if all goes well, at the end of January. All right, so unless the macro markets dump, we could definitely see a Bitcoin pump around, usually after the full moon. So end of January, heading into February. Then let's head down further. yeah, I mean, this is looking positive at the end of January. Positive aspects. Then we get Uranus stations direct on January 26th, which marks a major shift in the market. So I'm going to be keeping my eye very closely on that. You know, are we going to continue to shift up, or are we going to dump? We're going to start to dump. So I'm thinking we could have another leg up. It might not be very far. It might be to the higher 40s or 50s in the best case scenario. But then we might dump later. Perhaps, let's see. Let's look at potentially when we could dump. Let's see here. Well, let's take a look at the... I mean, most likely we're dumping in March, I would say, because that's potentially when the Fed funds potentially starts cutting rates. If we look at the probabilities, 97% probability that the Fed is going to keep rates on January 31st. They might keep rates pause. So if they keep rates paused on January 31st, let's see what Bitcoin's getting on the 31st astrologically. It's getting Mars sextile Uranus, which is positive. The Sun conjunct the Bitcoin North node, which is pretty positive. And Venus is going into the 6th house. And then right after we get Mars trine the Bitcoin Saturn, which is positive. So yes, we could definitely get a pump if the Fed pauses rates on the 31st, January 31st. We could get a pump into February. That's looking good. Then we have a new moon on February 9th, and Bitcoin could be doing pretty well. Bitcoin could be having a local peak because we get positive aspects on the 9th. Venus trine the Bitcoin Saturn. Very positive. Bitcoin could be, in the best case scenario, in the higher 40s, dare I say even the 50s. Okay, so that's, you know, once again, this is not financial advice though. So, you know, this is, make your own decisions on this. This is just what I'm thinking. This is for entertainment purposes. Looking at the astrology here, have to say that. Supposed to say that on, you know, when we're putting this information out. Just for legal reasons. Okay, so, and then we have a full moon on February 24th. What's happening with Bitcoin then? Typically full moon, we're typically, we could see bearish activity. Could see a dump. So we are getting kind of some negative aspects end of February. So we could get some dumping around that full moon on February 24th. So we get Mars opposite the Bitcoin ascendant, Venus opposite the ascendant. Wow, very interesting. Let's see. Yeah, so it's possible. It's not guaranteed. So we will see what happens, guys. That's what I'm seeing with the astrology. But like I was saying, altcoins are holding up strong. Bitcoin is, I mean, we dumped a little bit further than we would like to in the last 24 hours to about that 4,300 level. So we have to hold above, I mean, ideally we want to hold above 41,500. All right, so it's not looking good that we just dumped below 41,500, but we definitely need to stay above 40,300. We got to stay above that if we're going up further. Otherwise, we could start heading back down. All right, that's what I'm seeing. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and I'll see you on the next video. Also, definitely check out my one-on-one sessions. I will help you look at your personal natal chart astrology, as well as look at the entirety of 2024 for your personal astrology month by month game plan. This is super, super high value. I'm packing as much value as I possibly can in these sessions. I'm going to be looking at the month by month Bitcoin astrology for the entirety of 2024. So you can map out a plan, an amazing bulletproof strategy for this year to maximize your crypto profits. Ideally, that is the intention. Results are not guaranteed, but the intention is to map out, give you a crystal clear plan so you know you can make your own decisions based on what the stars are saying and what are the most auspicious dates to make specific decisions in your life and your crypto investments. When is a good time to buy or sell? And we can talk about that in a one-on-one session. I'm super excited about it. I've given a recent session. It was incredible. I felt like I was really tuned in with in the session with the participant, and I feel like she really got a tremendous amount of value. I really solidified her strategy. She was kind of scattered in her mind. She wasn't like crystal clear on like her what she was doing with crypto and what she was invested in. I looked at her astrology chart. It was clear as day. I said that she needed to narrow down her investments. She needed to know specifically exactly. She needed to understand each crypto that she was invested in. If not, she needed to kind of cut the fat on what was not working in her crypto portfolio. By the end of the session, she looked very, very calm, collected, and confident in moving forward with her strategy for this year. All right, so definitely check that out in the link below. Thanks so much for watching. Share it with someone who could benefit in your network, a friend, a family member, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace.